Mike S., an atheist propagandist, wonders if others share their enthusiasm. Let's bring him on.
Right.
Hello, Mike. Can you hear us?
Hi, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Gotcha.
Thrilling. So what's on your mind, man?
That's it. I'm just in love with the world because I'm spreading the good word.
Okay, so spreading the good word of Igtheism. So could you maybe define that for us?
Absolutely would love to. I was so pleased to stumble upon it myself. I found it just fitting to a T. It is the proposition that the whole God proposition just makes no sense and doesn't even really deserve a second thought, as best as I understand it.
So I'm going to steel man God a little bit. I mean, can you apply that to every God proposition you've heard?
Except one very important one. I am Discordian.
Okay, so you have a belief in the supernatural.
In a sense, sure.
Okay, so let's pivot the core, because Igtheism, of course, gods are logically impossible, etc. And I would get on that train for some gods. The Christian God, for example, the triomny just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. But maybe you can tell us what you do believe and why.
I believe in disorder and chaos is inherent in the universe. Bam. Okay. About that.
Do you believe there's any kind of overarching or overriding intelligence that causes this chaos?
No.
Okay.
I believe it is inherent.
So do you pray to or worship any god, gods, or supernatural beings?
I might say I meditate, and that's about the extent of it. I try to do that daily for my own health.
Okay.
But
so do you have any thoughts on this, Darante?
Otherwise, not really. Pardon?
Okay. Let's see here. So basically, from what I'm hearing, no logical reason to believe in a God, which I'm on that train. Second thing is the universe is kind of steeped in chaos and disorder. I think I'm kind of on that train too. I definitely kind of understand how entropy works. My question would be, because you use the phrase good news, and I'm definitely not against it. Can you tell us what the good news of that message is?
I feel like the good news is positive nihilism.
All right. Tell me a little bit more about that. I don't know if I've heard positive and nihilism together before, but I am not mad at it. So tell me a little bit more about that.
I personally am in love with it. I would hold forth that, how do I even put this? This is hurting my brain in unexpected fashion. Let's see, how are you going to articulate it?
Well, I myself am something of a positive nihilist, and I would say that by understanding that the universe has no inherent meaning, the meaning that we derive from life is built in solely by our own effort and the connections we make with other people.
Love it.
1,000 times yes.
Okay. Well, it seems like we're on a similar wavelength, but what is it that you wanted to get out of this call other than affirmation that we may have similar thoughts on the topic?
Possible collaboration, honestly. If anyone else is so inclined to do things like billboards or public art.
I mean, that is their whim to do so. We can't really push any standpoint that isn't in line with the mission.
No.
As long as they are.
No.
Go ahead.
No, it all is splendid.
Yeah. So, as long as people are pushing for the separation of church and government, and going for secular humanism, and are looking at atheism as the most intellectually honest standpoint, then we're cool. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
I think one thing that I'd add to this is I actually had a call this morning where someone left a message. I haven't been able to respond to it yet, but it does kind of go along with this, because this person is experiencing something in their life right now where people that they love and appreciate, that we're very close to, that have died recently. And they're grieving, they're going through that process, and they know me, they know that I used to be a pastor. So they're calling me and they're asking, why is this happening?
Wow.
Why would God allow this to happen? Why would God put this much on me? And I definitely remember feeling that way. I remember having those type of thoughts, which is why I kind of identify with this idea of positive nihilism, because a major part of my journey was coming to the place of realizing that, I don't really have those questions anymore, because I now understand that, it's just life. There is no big guy out there watching out for me and orchestrating things. And when you do have that belief that there is somebody out there who's orchestrating things, it does create those questions of why, where there is no answer, other than, this person was sick, or other than something happened to this person physically. There's nothing there. So just kind of on that topic, I do think that does need to be a subject that's talked a lot more, because there are people out here who are suffering mentally and emotionally, because too many of us on the secular side have bought into this idea that religion actually gives people hope. And I hope, just by sharing that story, that you actually see in many cases, especially when it comes to the Christian religion, it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, hope in something something that's not sustainable, and something that you can't touch, and something that has no relevance to you, is not any hope at all. So I do find it healthier to engage the world, having an understanding that there's no big guy up there watching out for me. Sometimes things just happen. And for me, I know, and I don't know if it relates to you the same way, Mike, but I know for me, it's just given me a larger appreciation for life, a grander appreciation for the world that I'm in. And I'm no longer tortured when bad things happen, which some of my believer friends, they're still very much tortured about things that they experience.
I can't even agree more. I could not.
Okay.
My dad passed of old age last year, and I had a really tough time with it, even though I hated him. Wow. For instance.
It is one of the greatest sort of challenges to us as people, is grief and loss, and wrangling with the idea of death and the end of our lives. And religion gives us an answer, and some people are satisfied with that answer, but it doesn't really have much in the way of basis. So, yeah, I think we're on board with what you're saying there, Mike. So, thank you for calling in. Is there anything else you want to say before we move on?
Not at all. Not at all. This was a splendid call. I thank you so much for the conversation, gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you for calling in there, man. We appreciate you.